What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. As you can see from the title, another twist. This time it is with Palace and UEFA, and this time Forest are getting involved as well. Seems like Palace want a full disclosure between the emails and texts between UEFA and Forest. We're going to dive into that and more. As always, if you do enjoy the stream, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And make sure to leave down your thoughts in the comment section down below if you are watching it on replay. I'm joined by Lou and also Mark. New face on the channel. Hopefully we'll have him on throughout the season as well. Mark, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, good, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, we've seen each other. We spoke outside the ground and, you know, we've been talking about Palace, but it's actually good to have you on here. But just quickly, well, what have we made of this summer? FA Cup winning Palace, remove the UEFA aside. What have we made of it after finally lifting a trophy? And me, I'll be honest, I just told Lou and I told you as well. I've been relaxing, but how have you soaked in the win?
Yeah, to be fair, I revisit at least once a week. Do you know what I mean? Watch the road to Wembley, watch, you know, from the third round all the way up until the final. All of this is kind of taking the shine off just a little bit, but I've kind of made peace of it a little bit now because normally pre-season, I don't really think about football until the first game of the season. But now I've been forced to think about it every day. I've come off social media for that reason because it's just too much. It's too much to digest. Every day there's something new, and this whole thing about emails and texts, like it's almost giving false hope because, like, if that doesn't overturn it, then you know you've just kind of been given a lifeline and it's taken away again.
Yeah. Before we get into this latest story, what's your thoughts on the whole situation in terms of Textor now selling his shares and, of course, us getting demoted to the Conference League? A lot of fans, I think everyone, to be fair, has been frustrated because we haven't really benefited from this multi-club model, allegedly, that we're in. And I would argue that we're not in one because Steve Parish has been against it. But what's your thoughts on the whole situation? Do you think there's a bit of blame maybe on Palace side of things? Because I've seen a few comments saying maybe we could have done a bit better in terms of sorting out our admin behind the scenes. Everyone has their own opinion. What's your thoughts on it?
The thing is, when the dust settles, I think we'll be able to look back in hindsight and say we were a little bit naive. Like, I've never trusted Textor from the start, if I'm honest, because I didn't really know what his intentions were. Well, I knew what his intentions were to sort of drag us into this multi-club ownership thing. Like, up until now, I've never heard the words, you know, multi-club ownership. I've heard it, but I've never really related it to our sort of. I mean, I'm done with it, if I'm honest. Like the blind trust, all of these new things that are popping up out of the woodwork, it's just a bit of nonsense. It's nonsense to me. But yeah, I don't trust Textor. I'm glad he's away from the club now. I think he's probably going to try and claim part of our victory. Like, he's going to probably say he's had a hand in it. I only listened to a bit of the TalkSport interview last week. I couldn't really stomach it. Jim White kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. So, yeah.
You're on the same rate with Lou there. Because, Lou, you were talking about Jim White as well with the Textor interview saying he wasn't happy with his lines of question, right?
Yeah, it felt like Jim White was just looking for a headline, looking for a bait. He kept baiting John Textor. Like, I've never trusted John Textor, but I'm not in the boat of saying it's his fault. I think it can't be just his fault.
So whose fault do you think it is?
I don't think it's just one of those things where, listen, when we was beating Millwall and enjoying the cup run and we was at Fulham away and we beat Villa, not one person I know turned around and said, I swear we're in a multi-club organization. I swear, like the Man City and Nice thing, ain't we in one of those? Not one person mentioned it. Not one person until that final whistle went. Like, no one even mentioned it. And then maybe us as fans, like, why should we think about that? That's not our job. It's the owner's jobs. Like I said, hindsight is a wonderful thing. But yeah, I just think it's listen. I spoke to you lot before. Come on, like, I was in the boat. I was one of those people who like dismissed everyone saying we're not going to get kicked out. This is nonsense. Like, I was fully relaxing, trying to enjoy the FA Cup win, not caring, thinking like everything's clickbait. Every journalist is just trying to get a story. We're never going to be kicked out. Like, How can a team win the FA Cup and not go to the Europa over a technicality? Like, it's impossible. Like, that's not how the world works. And we're here now. And I'm like, now I feel like an idiot.
It definitely does based on where we are, because
I'm just being honest. Like, even now, I can't comprehend being in this position. I find it hard to read stuff, watch stuff about it. Like, the last season was the best season of our lives. Like, I couldn't. The cup run was unreal. The team was unreal. Everything was just like, it's like every moment of being a Palace fan aligned finally to that day. Even that day where I saw him, we was at the pub after and everything. Like, it was like out of body experience winning that cup.
It's surreal.
Like, and then now it's just a bit. They can never take that away from us, but at the same time, we'll win the FA Cup and be known as the only team that ever won a cup and didn't get into the top European competition after. It's like there's always something with it. So I don't know. I really hope we get reinstated back to the Europa League. No one deserves it more than us, and I'm not trying to hear dumb banter from everyone, because it actually does rattle me a bit, and I don't normally get rattled. I don't normally. I can't.
I always talk to you, and you're like, I won't get rattled.
But this rattles me. Like, I genuinely feel rattled to my core about it.
Yeah, for me, I'm not in that same.
I understand why people don't. I understand why some people aren't rattled, and like, everyone has different feelings over it. Like, some people are just like, yeah, we'll win the conference, we'll go far, we have more chance than this. I believe in, like, socially inequality. This is just, football's meant to be for fans. Like, it's a working class sport. It came from. This is a sport for us, and it's just not gone that way. So, yeah, I'm just rattled to my core about it, man.
Yeah, I said it on a previous stream. For me, I wouldn't say I'm rattled. I'm annoyed. The reason why I'm not rattled is because, of course, you lot have watched Palace longer than me. We haven't seen Palace in Europe. We haven't, and we've literally won the FA Cup. We haven't seen Palace win a trophy before. So we're gonna hit, in a few months' time, we're gonna hit two birds with one stone. You know, we won FA Cup. We're going to see Palace in Europe. Of course, would you ask me, would I rather be in Europa League? 100%, because not only is it a better competition, it helps us financially as well. It helps us attract better players. But the most important thing for me right now is for a decision to be made, whether that's us appealing, which I'm going to go through the latest news in regards to that. But it just needs to be settled now, because it's actually impacting our transfer business. We haven't really spoke about that many players coming in. I know we signed 2 players, Sosa and Benitez, but these are players with minimal spending, and I think our business depends on the competition that we're in. So for me, we have to make sure sooner rather than later our position is confirmed, which it will be, because the latest news which came out yesterday was that we have received a full written reason from UEFA, and Palace are preparing for a CAS appeal with their lawyers, and this was according to Sky. I think this was this yesterday? Yeah, yesterday or today. So I don't know. This might have been received earlier, and we might have got the news even yesterday as well. So in about 10 days' time, which makes sense because the actual Conference League draw is on August the 4th, we'll be able to find out. But there's another twist, which has come from the Daily Mail, and I'll read it out. It's that Crystal Palace are expected to demand full disclosure of what they believe are bombshell emails and texts between UEFA and Nottingham Forest. They believe it could prove double standards have been applied over the European demotion. Palace, who will appeal to CAS, will now demand UEFA to hand over correspondence between themselves and Forest. Such documents, if presented to a CAS panel, could potentially result in Palace being reinstated to the Europa League. So another twist, Palace wanting the full emails and texts between UEFA and Forest. We believe that potentially if we do get that, then it would help us in terms of our appeal. Mark, I'll start off with you. Your thoughts on the news in general. What do you think we could realistically be overturned if we saw texts? I guess maybe Palace knows something we don't know between UEFA and Forest.
Yeah, I mean, it depends the context of what the messages are saying and if it's incriminating in a sense. But I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of come out of nowhere, really. Is that going to prolong things even further? So, you know, is a decision going to be made on the back of this? Is there going to be a period of time where it's, I don't know, another 10 days? The Forest make another appeal? You know, it just starts to go into like the world's worst soap opera, and I'm just done with it. The thing is as well, because it is like you said about the transfers, incoming transfers, but it's also affecting our business that's going out. So, you know, is that Ebbs' decision and Mark's decision to stay? If we get Europa League, if we're in the Conference League, do they go? It's kind of, there's too much variables kind of hanging on it. Ideally, I just want to see it done and dusted. Come Monday, depending on what these emails and texts say, you know, we may have a decision by the end of next week, but again, it could even rumble on even further.
Yeah. Lou, what do you think about it? Because you've been hopeful. You mentioned it from the start in terms of surely we won't get booted out. But when you hear this story, do you think it could realistically help us?
I feel like that could be just like putting jeopardy out there, because it's clear they might not be breaking rules officially, but the only multi-club ownership right now is Textor and Forest, because they're sending players back, like, and it's just like,
it's weird.
It's ridiculous. Like, it is, but like, basically, I'm not saying they do anything wrong, but if anyone's in a multi-club ownership, it's Danilo to Botafogo, to Igor Tudor, to Igor Jesus, to Forest, Matt. Why is Leon paying 8 million for Matt Turner? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But the one thing I didn't get, I don't know if anyone can explain in the chat. The threshold is 30% ownership. Yeah. Eagle Football Holdings owns 43% of Palace, but Textor only owns 65% of Eagle Holdings. So his official overall percentage is 29.5%. So I don't even understand that because he doesn't own the whole of Eagle Holdings. And like, so I don't get that bit either. I don't know if anyone in the chat understands. Like, to me, the fact that he has technically he doesn't own 30% himself, and he has no decisive influence. I don't understand. I can't comprehend. I can't in my mind see how we should be kicked out. Like, is that not? Am I getting stuff wrong? Like, is he Eagle Holdings because he doesn't own all of it?
Yeah, I don't understand it myself. The biggest question that I have is he only has 25% voting share right. So when you talk about decisive influence, he doesn't have decisive influence. He's never had decisive influence.
Yeah, but even I'm saying, like, even technical. So they say you can't own more than 30% of one club. Yeah. But his Eagle Holdings owns 43%, but he only holds 65% of Eagle Holdings, which puts him at 29.5% ownership himself, which is under 30%. I don't get how if he's under the 30%, isn't he under the 30%? I don't get that bit. I don't know if someone can explain to me in the chat or anything. I don't get it. Like, and we've gone through UEFA rules. It's been posted on Twitter so much. They're just contradicting rules. They don't even make sense. They're blurred lines. I don't know if Woody Johnson's. We need Young Thug's lawyer or someone that's going to look at these papers. Like Brian Shaw, I think it is.
Exactly. I don't know. Them lawyers will be working overtime. I guess that's the one positive. I'm pretty sure he'll be involved in regards to that. But for you, Mark, are you in the same boat in terms of like Texas, the decisive influence bit? Because for me, it just doesn't make any sense. He doesn't have decisive influence. He's literally been on the record talking about, I want to sell because I regret my decision buying into Palace because I didn't expect it to turn out like this. He wanted more control, but Steve Parish runs the club day to day. He has 25% voting share rights. In fact, that's the reason why he's been trying to sell the club since last summer. It's like, it's out there. He said it. He said it before all of this.
He's been vocal. He's been very vocal about it. And that's the frustrating bit, because had he not have been, then there might have been the inkling that, you know, he might have had some sort of decisive control, but because he's been so vocal about it, and he's been out, he loves the press. He's been out there. He's put it out there so often. But yeah, I think it just kind of comes down to it. Like, his ego kind of dictated the fact that he thought he had a bit of control, because he started to try and claim that he brought Glasner to the club and he had kind of some influence around that.
Yeah.
I think, there's definitely no decisive control there. There's not. Just
Yeah,
the thing is,
yeah.
UEFA can't come out of this looking good, whichever side they sit on. Whatever they rule, they're going to look bad.
What do you think of David's comment saying we are demonstrating points to concern UEFA? I get a feeling we'll be reinstated before it gets to CAS. I always fleet. UEFA kicked it to CAS to prevent a Forest appeal. I feel like Forest are messing up a lot of things in between, but realistically, I don't agree with David. I don't see it. I don't see UEFA changing the decision at this point because of Forest. If it was a Forest, then maybe, but because of Forest and what they will do, we've seen it with even this summer, Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, the Forest owner, you just have to look at him yourself and then you'll realize how much of a pain he is. I don't think UEFA will overturn the decision before CAS appeal. I think this will go to CAS. Any of you disagree or agree?
I think it'll go to CAS.
I don't even know the procedure. Like that doesn't seem.
And apparently, we can only appeal certain sections, so it's hard to know because, of course, UEFA have given the full written reason why we're demoted, right? But apparently, you can only appeal to certain sections of that, but we don't even know what's written. That's the hard thing. No one's leaked it. No one's told us anything, so I doubt we'll know. But it makes it just more complicated because, I mean, Steve Parish is not going to give up. You can tell he's done multiple interviews. He feels confident. But I don't know. I feel like I'm giving up. I feel like I've given up because I just don't know. It's dragged out so long that I don't know if
I feel like the Palace fan base is like people hear an acceptance and people still hear a denial. But I'm still on.
You're still in denial.
I still don't know. I still don't know what's going on, bro. Like I'm lost.
Because I'm thinking about if we were to win it, then I feel like there's going to be another legal battle between Forest and UEFA and Palace because of how they are.
I feel like it's so much. It would be so much easier to win a case against Forest than it is to win against Palace. But what do we know?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like Forest will try to cause trouble, but it's just ironic that Forest do more business with John Textor's football clubs in the multi-club model nonsense than we do, whilst Textor owned us. It makes literally no sense. It makes no sense. Cliff saying it dragged out, but anything can happen. Regardless, Forest basically snaked us in a way. Mary saying Parish overestimated the shareholders' agreement at Palace. UEFA clearly focused on Textor's percentage and any dealings between the club he owns. No one else gets suspicious. Forest signed a player from John Textor's Brazilian club today. Yeah, we literally mentioned it. It's weird. It's been weird because they've been doing business for a long time. David said, no, we have this, we have found something and hence we are asking for disclosure. This will concern UEFA depending on what we have found. Do you think that's the case then? It must be, but I don't know how we found something. I don't know.
Yeah, how's that come to light though?
Listen, if I was
between UEFA and Forest,
if I had these billionaires, I'd be infiltrating every bit of confidential information possible. Like there's
but like who's gonna leak it from UEFA or from Forest? Like who will leak it? Like, that's why
you know City's whole case is from leaked files.
Yeah, but
that's literally hacked. City's one is literally from hacked leaked files.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And if you've got stuff that will damage a whole organization, I'm guessing that's how you'd go about it. You'd put it in the. But who would you give it to? Mike Keegan though.
Yeah. Yeah, the journalist. I don't know. Maybe there's people. Maybe Palace found out. Palace wanted to put the information out there and gave it to him, so they put it out there so UEFA can see that we might have something.
I feel like every day is just like a.
It's like a drama.
We got Ed Aarons, who's clearly in Textor's pocket because he was the one who's tweeted about when the protest was going on and managed to say we're not talking about Textor. So you can clearly see where people are aligned and who's paying who. Like you can even tell when like down to transfers when teams are paying Fabrizio to put like it's become just farcical the whole football thing, like the journalism, and it's like one will tweet it, then another, then another. It's just like it's just a whirlwind of information all the time.
Yeah,
it's kind of overwhelming.
Didn't want to follow it as closely after a certain point because it just felt like it's just dragging on. Every day you hear something new. You hear that we're going to be kicked out. We're going to be fine, and then we end up getting kicked out. And now there's just
if I'm being real, that fining us would be for missing administrative whatever. Fine us. Fine
But
us.
I don't think that's the reason why they kicked us out. I think they still believe that we're part of a multi-club ownership at that point. I think that's the reason why they kicked us out. That's the reason why they haven't fined us.
But anyone competent can see that. But obviously, some people are saying, well, you played friendlies together, you sold Jake O'Brien.
Jake O'Brien's our only case. Like, I forgot about that, but that's the only case I saw.
And he had a big sell-on clause and stuff like that. Like, and he sold for 1 million and then went for 30. That's
the only one. But you know what's so ironic? John Textor is not involved in Lyon right now in terms of a director. He stepped down. He's sold his shares completely, so he's not involved in Palace. It's like the most Palace thing. The guy's not even involved in both of the clubs that are in question right now about the Europa League. He's not involved in it.
Even if we was a multi-club, even if we was, the fact that we've sold before like the end of the season, not even like the Europa League started, before anything started, before a draw's even come out, we've sold. That should alone be enough. Because the blind trust is nothing. Marinek has put a blind trust in them. He was on the pitch like a week later. How can you be on the pitch if you're not even an owner? Like it's just like, and then in a court of law, how could anyone even sit with their faces straight with all this blatant information? Like it's crazy. That's what I mean. That's why I say I find it hard to comprehend it, like what is going on. And it's confusing.
It's farcical. It's a bit of a circus as well at the minute.
People are saying Molenbeek, lots of Molenbeek. We did send a lot of players on loan to Molenbeek.
Yeah, I guess so. But they're not involved in this competition.
But that would put us in a multi-club ownership if we were sending loads of players on loan to Molenbeek.
Well, you know what's funny? The final of the Conference League is being played at the Red Bull Leipzig Stadium.
Yeah,
like Red Bull Leipzig Stadium. That's why I genuinely feel like if it was in the Conference League, it's written already for me. I can see us going far. I can see us going to the Red Bull Leipzig Stadium and end up doing something.
We have a win it or we get knocked out in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's what it's just written for me.
There's no middle ground. It's one or the other.
Everything that's happened that we go to a stadium with multi-club ownership and end up winning the competition and then going Europa League next. But in terms of transfers now and players leaving, are you both concerned about potentially the difference between the Conference League and Europa League and Eze and Gahey staying or leaving? I'll start off with you, Mark.
I mean, not concerned necessarily. I'm more like the Europe dream's more of like a dream. Do you know what I mean? I'm more worried about our league. A lot of teams that play in Europe then struggle in the league. Who did it happen to? Burnley. It's up to a couple clubs. Like, I'm just more worried about, having a fit squad and just kind of getting through the Premier League season. I've kind of made peace with the fact that I might not see Mark in a Palace shirt again. Ebbs, I feel like there's more chance of Ebbs staying because I think Arsenal are playing about with this release clause thing. Although the talk about Chelsea is just it's kind of come out of the blue as well.
Yeah, I don't really see that happening, to be fair. For me, Ebbs it's hard, but I think both of them, you got a good case for them both leaving with the Europa League, to be fair. Gahey, because of his contract situation, but it seems like he's happy. He's kind of letting it play out. Which is not really good for us. That's the only issue.
I generally think that Parish has probably said, listen, this has got a few more weeks left in it. No outgoings, no major outgoings until we know what's going on here, because as a Europa League team, I feel like you got more bargaining with your selling, with selling. I think because if we're in a Conference League, it's like teams can be like, "Oh, why you want to stay there? Like you're playing Conference League." It's different if you're over Europa League group stages. Like you've got guaranteed, you're playing big games. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be playing against big European teams. It's a whole different animal.
But with Eze, it doesn't really matter because he has a release clause. So
I'll be honest.
I think Gahey, you can use the argument, but with Eze, I don't know if it makes a difference.
I think there's a situation where, so what's his release clause? 68, isn't it? 68 million.
Yeah,
I think there's a world where Paris takes 60 for him.
I don't know what where if we're in the Conference League, or does that change?
I think there's a scenario where Paris will take lower than the release clause. I definitely think that. I love Ebbs, and I think you lot spoke about it before. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think Palace fans, it's like he's completed Palace. I know everyone would love him on a European tour, but like, can you ever ask anything more of a player in the Palace history? He won the FA Cup for us, quarters, semis, final. It was him.
But then he can end up winning us another trophy.
I know, but he'll forever be. I think every single Palace fan would be happy to see Ebbs go on and play Champions League football.
But not to. I mean, to Arsenal, I want £68 million. I wouldn't.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
There's paid to Madueke. They got no.
I would sell if Bayern came in at. We'll give you 55 plus 10 in add-ons or something like that. I wouldn't mind that. I'd rather that than him go to Arsenal. I would love to see him. I would love to see him go and play over Elise. If I had to choose him, I want Ebbs to stay, because I think if you look at teams who are successful over a long period of time, transfers are always a risk, whereas retention of your best players always normally happens with success. You saw Liverpool; they didn't sign anyone. They didn't really need to, did they? City, when they was on their run of winning season after season, they kept that core group. The players come in and out, but it stayed of Stones, Mahrez, KDB. Like, there was a core of players. I think if you keep ours, like if you said get Eze and Guehi was to stay for another season, I'd say we only need depth. I wouldn't say we need players to compete with our starting 11, but I would say our starting 11 with Guehi and Eze is the top 20 in Europe. Is a top 20 team in Europe, I believe. Glasner manager and our starting 11 fully fit is a top 20, top 15 European team in Europe. I think.
I think we've kind of proven it even last season.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Mark?
I just think the bench would need to improve. That was it.
I suppose. Well, my question to you guys is, with everything that's going on and dragging out, does this change Glasner's decision to renew a contract? Like,
possibly.
Could we blame him if he wants to walk after it? Because is it next year? End of that season?
Yeah. I think if we got demoted, it would take a massive wage pack. And he always said, I feel like he's a very honest man. If he thinks he can't take Palace any further, which I think he probably would feel if maybe we got knocked out and our squad wasn't as strong and maybe we got another 9th, 10th, 11th, I think he'd probably say, right, I've won my first trophy. I took you to Europe. I don't think I can do this again. I think he's honest in that situation where he generally means if he doesn't think he can take us too much further, he's going to look for a new opportunity. And what can we do?
I think it depends on how much we back him, though. And it's hard to say right now because I can't even.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
like, because of the ongoing situation, I can't say, "Oh, we're moving serious. We are back." Or we're not back in Glasgow, because you can't right now. We don't know what competition we're going to be in next season. So I think because of that, it's very hard to see how much the club are willing to back Glasgow. But I guess we find out in the next 10 days or so. Then again, I don't like the idea. It's annoying because it's impacting us. Remember last season, Glasgow said it. He wanted a full pre-season with the players. He didn't like the deadline.
I do get that. But I think it's
of UEFA.
But this, I think it's different in the sense of, obviously, I don't know if I think Munoz and that are probably back Monday, or the players that had more distance, they're back, but not in full.
I don't know. Is he not back yet?
But he does have his full team, and that is the main thing. It's just he didn't have his full team and he didn't have transfers. He didn't have new players in to bed in. But like, if we're being honest, if the season was to start in a few weeks, we've got our full team.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I would be confident at going, if we had the team that we have now, I would be maybe not the Community Shield, because I think that's going to be a very emotional day for Liverpool. I think everything's going to be about Jota, which is understandable. It's going to be a very emotional day, very Liverpool focused. And I think like they'll probably want to win it for Jota. Like, I think it will be like one of those games. but I generally would be like very confident going to Chelsea away with the team that we have now. That I do believe that. But going into Europe with this squad, I wouldn't be happy, if you get what I mean.
So what's missing then? Let's land there. What do you go back to you, Lou, in just a second, but just what do you think is missing in the squad?
I think depth is just depth. Do you know what I mean? I like the idea of having, cover for Ty, but again, so I think he's had a lot of injuries. I don't know how much games he played at Torino, maybe like 15 or 16 games, but he's had a lot of injuries. Coming to the Premier League, the pace of the game is going to be different for him. So, I mean, we need depth in a couple of areas, but I'm talking about loaning out Raksaki. I think maybe now would be the time to keep him, if I'm honest. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I would like to see, if Wolves are interested in him, they see something in him. They think he could do a job in the Premier League. I think Southampton wanted him beginning of last season.
Rangers, I think, because Russell Martin's been after him for a couple of clubs.
So, I mean, just depth, but I mean, and again, França, what's going on with França? Is he not going to get games? Could this not be his season? Because they'd be talking about pushing him out on loan as well.
Yeah, as well. It was a bit weird, but I think with the goalie position we're sorted. Right wing back, I think we need depth there. Unless they're really serious about Corpora, back in Munoz, then he needs like proper game time next season. Left wing back we sorted. Centre back is a big one. I think regardless of Gailey leaving or staying, we need another centre back. We just do because of numbers issue. And then when Riyadh comes back, it'll be nice. But if Gailey leaves, then we need two centre backs.
No, Riyadh's end of the year.
He's end of the year.
That's why they said one loan, one permanent, two permanent if Gahey goes.
Yeah. So I think we need another centre back, and then two if Gahey goes, and then midfield. I think we're stacked. I think we're sorted in midfield. So I get a bit confused when we link to other midfielders. In attack now, that's where it gets a bit weird. So I think up front we're gonna have Eddie and JP. Yeah. It's just with the number 10 positions. It's a bit confusing and that's the only thing I'm worried about with Eze leaving, because when Wilf left, we had Eze and Elise. We knew what we could fall back on. But if Eze were to leave right now, yes, we have Sarr there, but Sarr is a different profile of a player to what Eze is. We don't have the players to fall back on right now because I don't think France is ready. France hasn't proven himself. So we'll see what happens with him next season. Maybe he kicks on. And then you have the likes of Eze, Raksaki, that back Sarr. So I think with the number 10 position is a bit interesting because the players behind the main two, they haven't really proven themselves, but we also know that they've got a lot of potential. So I think with the number 10 position, do you think, Lou, that we could invest and strengthen the? We
spoke about it. It's that Gassan from Nice. We need a player in the profile that I think is very strong in transition. So a player quick like a Sarr Eze like mixture. Someone who is better of a higher caliber than Franca and Esse, because I think you're asking a bit too much of them to be direct backups to, because Eze Sarr to Franca Esse is way too much of a drop off. There needs to be a player in between those two who in themselves, ability wise and confidence wise, is as good as those two, but because Eze and Sarr have worked so well, they're going to have to break in. They're going to have to push Sarr and Eze, and maybe another player that allows us to be a bit more flexible tactically. So maybe someone who can just a traditional player who can play out wide and a 10. So like maybe another type of Sarr, like that Gassan player. I'm sure they've got players on their shortlist. I know they always looked at Ben Doak. I don't really know if he's my preferred player, but Dougie liked him. But definitely a player in that 10 role. The 10 and the centre back and the right wing back are a concern to me. I get Corpora's potential, but we didn't really see it. He got dragged at half time against Arsenal. He had a few good cameos.
As a number 10. He was playing midfield, and that's when he performed the best, but could he potentially be like a number 10 option? next season?
Yeah, he definitely could be. He definitely could be. I see Animal said about McAtee. For me, it's a red flag. It's a bit of a red flag that no one's Forest have been in for him, but like I don't think our best transfers are done domestically unless they're from the Championship, or we're talking from like European teams who like players want to come to the Premier League. They're maybe on 20, 30k euros a week. They played Europa League football. They're not the best in their team where like the top teams are looking to take them. But though that third, fourth best player, like Kang Lee from PSG, he's not a starter, but he'd probably start in most Premier League or other European teams. We're going to got to look at that level. And obviously we've got the pool to pay 80, 90 grand a week. So we got to look for bargains. We got to buy well. I don't know if not having Dougie is gonna be a struggle as well. But as you can see, like Ekitike is going for 80 million. Mascara's going to Arsenal. So hopefully there's a list of players that.
See, this is the thing. I saw a comment. I missed it because there's a lot of people sending in the comments. Thank you to every single one of you that's already done that, and also like the stream. Let's see how many likes we're on right now. We're on 71. Let's see if we can hit 100 people. Thank you to each and every single one of you. I was just looking at the Conference League versus Europa League in terms of prize money, and someone did mention how we're still going to be in the Conference League. Why don't we sign players right now? Well, there is a big difference in terms of. I asked ChatGPT quickly. Europa League payouts are roughly double those of Conference League at each knockout stage. So it does make a difference. If we're in a Europa League, in terms of what we can potentially earn, that we can use that into account in terms of money potentially and buying players in this window. So it's not a case of we're going to be in Europe regardless. Let's go and buy whatever player. Well, in the Europa League, we might be able to spend a bit more money. It might give us a bit more flexibility to bring in more quality players. So I think we're more banking on that. But then again, if we do, once it is confirmed, we haven't really got that much time to waste, Mark. Like we're preseason started. This won't be confirmed for another 10 days or so. So we're entering August. We've got not Conference League, the Community Shield final on the 10th of August. So it's like we have to get it underway. Are you a bit concerned that it could drag out towards the end of the season before we see new players come in at Palace?
I think it is. I think that's definitely a realistic possibility. Another thing that I'm thinking about as well, in terms of like the wage structure and everything, like JP, he needs the deal. You know what I mean? Because he's in a position right now where other clubs are looking at him. If the club don't start to really look at his deal, you're going to bring in another player and start and pay him more than JP. That's going to be a problem.
Yeah, his agent working overtime every minute. Like, mate, you're not going Liverpool. Like, so just stop. And it's who's reporting it's Le Quip from France. I'm like, bro,
there was AC Milan. Latest one. He apparently 30 million euros. I don't know where they get the numbers from, but I don't know fact he's
in such a bad negotiation position in Mateta, and I feel like because he's 27, his stocks have never. He had that season, the one before last, where he was unbelievable towards the end of the season, and his stocks were there, and then they went even higher for the Olympics, and then they doubted him, and then he went even higher again. His stocks are never gonna be higher than this.
So do you think he's hitting ceiling then?
He's not hit his ceiling, but I'm saying when his contract finishes, he's got 2 years left. He's 29, 30. Where are you going after that? I think that's what
the reason why he's pushing maybe a move right now.
That's why he either needs the big move or the big contract. But I think Palace are probably saying, listen, we'll probably give you the money, but like, can you just allow us for a second? And he probably thinking, what do you mean? Like, I've helped you, but what can we do? Like, if I'm being honest, we were saying to give Mateta his money from 8 last season. But I think a big thing is not even about incomings, and I think it's with a lot of Premier League clubs, selling is just as important these days. Can you sell at a good level? Chelsea are probably the best at doing it. Arsenal are terrible. United are terrible. How much can you get for Edouard? How much can you get for Raksaki? Where's Ahamada
Hamada.
going? What's happening to Holding? Like, can you accumulate 20, 30 million from squad players? Like, that's where you build a squad. Players that aren't even going to be involved in the team, getting money in to then boost your whole squad. So, yeah, how much can you get for Edouard? How much can you... Raksaki is going to be pure profit.
Yeah, and I think Raksaki, the reported fee is around 10 million that we want.
We rejected 20 from Southampton, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. But of course, they're not going to be paying that right now. So
give him a new deal, didn't we? We gave him a new contract.
Yeah. Look, sales are important. I think Gehi is very important. I think with Eze, we kind of know if he's leaving, he's going to be leaving. He's going to be leaving for around 60 to 68 million pound, right? But with Gehi, that's the uncertainty, because if he's not leaving this summer, is it even in January? Could that be a chance? Or what happens halfway through the season?
If they told me, if they told me Gehi, you get in the Europa League and Gehi gets you through to the knockout stage, but he goes in January and you get 30 million for him, I'll take that all day long.
But he would pay 30 million pound in January.
Liverpool,
a lot of clubs
get for free.
Yeah, but some clubs, or Liverpool won't pay it, but Newcastle or Spurs might pay it.
Yeah, well, Spurs, the
Bayern might pay it. You never know what European club's got an injury, or maybe Van Dijk gets an injury. And remember, we don't know what's happening with Konate. They might sell Konate in January and buy Gehi, because Konate said he's not signing a new deal. I think it's like a domino effect. Like, so that Konate is not signing a new deal, Gehi's not signing a new deal. Sporting Lisbon you see how they're moving with Gyökeres. Like, I don't think Diamande, they're not going to let him go for cheap. And it's like, Diamande probably don't want to go unless we got Europa League football. Like, there's so many domino effects that need to happen. You normally see it with like the Mbeumo deal. Brentford will get 71 million, then they'll buy new players, then they'll sell Wissa. Like, it just, normally you just have to wait for a few transfers.
I think our situation right now is we have to wait for this Europa League or Conference League confirmed, and then afterwards, that's when we can start pushing ahead. And maybe that's when Gehi or Eze is like, all right, I want to stay, I want to go this and that. Like,
we want Van der Berg as well, didn't we? We're looking at Van der Berg from Middlesbrough.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at a few players, but nothing concrete. It's just like names being mentioned. It's been very quiet on players coming in.
Anyone from Man United 15th to who came 7th, Forest 7th, that whole middle team, maybe not Man United because they probably think they're still shopping in other places. They're all looking at the same players. Like, West Ham just signed Juff and Carl Walker-Peters, 2 players that we were linked to for how long?
Yeah,
like, it's
always piggyback on far transfers.
Tiano Barry's gone to Everton. Like, all these players that we were looking at, they're all going to everyone's looking at these same players.
Yeah. Well, look, we're going to wrap it up. But before we do, just quickly, of course, we'll be here talking about all the latest news. But let me go and ask once again. Do you reckon it's going to be Europa League or Conference League? I'll start off with you, Mark.
I mean, listen, I'm an eternal optimist. I'm going to say Europa League. Like, my heart's been saying that from day one. Even when this first come out and people would say to me, oh, look, what's going on? And I was confident. I was like, yeah, Europa League. However, I mean, it's not going to be the worst thing in the world if we play in the Conference League. It's not what we signed up for. But rewind back to this time last season, if we'd have done anything to be having this conversation about which
crazy conversation to have. Literally, we win the FA Cup, we win a trophy, and now we're talking, what do we want, Europa League or Conference League? I would have just took Conference League any day of the week. But of course, now hindsight,
But yeah, I'm sticking with Europa League, man. I feel like, common sense will prevail. I'm putting it out there.
I have no clue. I didn't give an FA Cup final prediction, so I won't give one of these. I'm just gonna stay in limbo.
It's not a trophy. We'll win one of the two. Just give one prediction. No, the end of the world. I know you care so much about Europa League, but for me,
it's not that. It's not that.
It's Europa League hopes.
It's not that. It's just in general life. Like, if it was the other way around and it was Forest, I would. I know it sounds dumb to say, but I wouldn't be a fan saying. I would say Forest deserve it. I wouldn't even want my team to be. I was just like, we didn't deserve it. Like they won the FA Cup. Like I can't comprehend it. So whatever it is, isn't it?
Well, you ain't the Forest owner. If you was, then maybe we wouldn't be having these conversations. Because it seems like.
What do you think?
I think Conference League. I was so hopeful that there's no way because he doesn't have decisive influence. When I first heard that was the reason, I was like, it's fine. That's going to be solved. He doesn't have decisive influence. It's out there on record. He doesn't have decisive influence. That's why I'm genuinely shocked. I'm shocked right now that we're even in this position because I thought that we wouldn't be because we shouldn't be. It's not about no emails and March 1st deadline. It's about the actual principle of why you're taking us out. And that's because of the multi-club ownership, which we don't do. We don't benefit from multi-club ownership. We've been against it. Textor doesn't have decisive influence. So I was like, we got a lot for us. But despite that, they still managed to demote us. So based on that, I'll be honest, I'm not as hopeful anymore. Because I'm like, it's done. Like
I feel like we're like one of them, you know, when you get hit with a RICO and you got to beat the feds. Like that's what it feels like. You know, when they say, "Oh, the feds have got a 99% win rate." That's what it feels like.
Lawyers, Woody Johnson must have good lawyers out there. He must be connected to a lot of people. He must have great lawyers. So
told you, Harvey Specter, Lincoln lawyer.
If he can't get us out of this, then trust me, no one probably can. But yeah, I think Conference League. But despite that, I'm sleeping well. I am.
I'm guessing Monday there'll be some sort of news on Monday.
I actually really want us to go far in the conference. Like I really want us to. I'll be happy 13th, 14th in the Premier League. But imagine winning another trophy and a European one. That would be unreal.
Yeah, but it takes a lot just to win a trophy, man. It's not just that simple.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying we have a better chance in the Conference League than Europa League. But I'd rather be in Europa League. So that's my perspective on the whole situation. So
just one last question here. Do you think this is taking the shine off the FA Cup, or are you still kind of in kind of like?
I feel like I can. I still can't. I still think that day is still surreal to me. Like I find it whenever I watch it, like I get overwhelmed of emotion. Like it brings it back on, but like no one can take that away from me. But it will always be, if they drag us out the Europa League, it will be slightly tarnished because we'll be the only team who ever happened to it. And we got my dad and other people's dads, it happened to them in 1991 as well. So it's just like history repeating itself again.
Yeah. Well, look, the best situation if we do get demoted is to win the Conference League and go to Europa League the following season. But
yeah, just win a European trophy. Go on.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? The fact that in a month's time we could be potentially playing in Europe. Like basically a month's time, around the 21st of August, if we're in the Conference League, we'll be having a playoff game, and God knows where it would be. So that's crazy in itself. But of course, for me, FA Cup, nothing can take away from me, and that's the thing. Like I feel like we're getting too caught up in this, and we're forgetting that we're still playing in Europe whilst winning the FA Cup. Like I will never forget the FA Cup, and I'm greedy for more. So for that reason, give me the easiest teams in the European competition and let us go all the way. Like I'm not really bothered about teams and who we face. I just want us.
We'll see when we're playing a team in Finland on 3G pitch.
But yeah, with Conference League, it starts in October as well. There's only 6 games, so does that help? Maybe rather than 8 games. So yeah, I guess we'll see. But look, if you have enjoyed this, hit the like button and subscribe. Also, shout out to Mark. As I said, hopefully we'll be seeing more of Mark throughout the upcoming season, and also shout out to Lou as well. Like, subscribe, comment down below what you think. Europa Conference will be here with all the latest updates. But until next time, up the Palace.
Up the Palace, nice one, boys.